More than 30 out-of-state trips, 27 by plane, 5 by train. That's what Rhode Island Education Commissioner Angélica Infante-Green has logged since the start of last year to education conferences and meetings. Angélica Infante-Green is a woman on the move.
I'm always promoting what we're doing in Rhode Island.
Since the beginning of last year, Rhode Island's education commissioner has flown for business to Washington, D.C. 14 times.
D.C., it's where things are happening. We have to have a voice there.
Also to Texas, California, and North Carolina 3 times each, Arizona twice, Nashville, Salt Lake City, Philadelphia, Minneapolis, even to Taiwan, plus 5 train trips to New York. Do you think you travel a lot?
I think I travel what's necessary to make sure that Rhode Island is on the table in all the conversations. For the first time, we're being highlighted. We are national leaders, international leaders on chronic absenteeism. Yeah, I travel to make sure that people know the wonderful things that are happening in Rhode Island. We're the smallest state, and we need to shine in ways that we can't do that if we're not at those conversations.
The commissioner's office provided Infante-Green's travel log in response to my records request, with a breakdown of who paid the expenses. A little more than $16,000 has been paid by the Rhode Island Department of Education, the taxpayers. Event hosts have picked up nearly $26,000 in bills. What do you think the taxpayers and the students get out of that, whether you're presenting or listening to something at a conference?
Well, it puts, it's money well spent, because I will tell you, when they start talking about bringing grants or highlighting Rhode Island, we're front and center.
Infante-Green is often a speaker or panelist at events. She made 4 trips for both the Council of Chief State School Officers and the National Assessment Governing Board. She sits on the board of both. Those organizations paid for her trips. You don't think you're spread too thin with all the challenges that Rhode Island and Providence especially?
I am not on anything that doesn't profit or benefit Rhode Island. It is about elevating our position in the nation.
What about beyond the nation? Infante-Green spent last Thanksgiving week in Taiwan. A Google search only shows their government highlighted the trip, which included an agreement to enhance foreign exchange, following an already established relationship with Rhode Island. Taiwan paid more than $3,000 for her travel there. Meanwhile, the state has split costs for Infante-Green to go to an annual conference in Charlotte last month and the April before for Women Leading Education.
It's a bond you can't replicate anywhere else.
She sits on the board of that organization, too.
This is about women. If you see who was there, half of the state chiefs are there. My colleagues are there. All the women that are in education are there, sharing best practice, learning from one another, making sure that we are helping each other succeed.
One of the leaders of that group is Julia Raphael-Bear. She's also the leader of the ILO Group, the education consulting company whose contract with the state 4 years ago came under scrutiny and led to tough questions for Governor Dan McKee because of his connections to the deal. Infante-Green was also on a panel moderated by Raphael-Bear at a major national conference that draws big names last month in Arizona. And Infante-Green has traveled in the past to conferences for the organization Raphael-Bear was previously a leader of. What is the relationship?
Well, I knew Julia before I got here.
Are you too close to ILO, and what's their relationship with the state now?
No.
See, you don't see that as any kind of conflict?
I don't. I mean, we haven't had a contract, and I don't think there's any contract in the state.
Infante-Green keeps up the travel schedule this week. She was in Washington again to speak to a Senate panel Tuesday, and closer to home is at a Harvard education conference tomorrow.
I don't want to call it traveling because it's work. For me, it's work. Not only am I working there, but then I have to do the work that is expected of me here. So I am always on the clock.
Infante-Green filed her state ethics travel disclosure on the deadline day a couple weeks ago, the same day we received her travel records in response to our request. I'm Brian Crandall, NBC 10 News.